What is going on, everybody? This is Football Exclusive, and today I'm going to be doing a doubleheader prediction for you guys since it's been a while since I did these predictions. So today I'm going to be doing Boston College and Syracuse. Both these teams had a pretty good season last year, especially Syracuse. They were very competitive with Clemson last year, had the lead for the majority of the game, but Clemson did come back and win the game. So that was kind of disappointing for Syracuse. But on the positive side, they had a great season, and if you compete with Clemson, that is showing that your team is pretty good. And Boston College had a pretty good season as well. So I want to predict Boston College first, and then I'll do Syracuse. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. All right, so I'm doing a new thing for you guys on screen. I want you to comment down below which one looks better, this one or just having the whole prediction on the screen. I'll show you the prediction right now, but right now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the first game, which is Boston College and Virginia Tech. I know Boston College has them at home, and Virginia Tech, I think, will be better this year. So I think Virginia Tech will win that game. I think they'll slip past them. I think it'll be competitive. I think Boston College will be very, very competitive against Virginia Tech, but I think Virginia Tech will win that game anyway. And then we have Richmond. That should be a win. Then Kansas. This will determine how good Kansas is with their new head coach. I think Boston College will win this game. But even if Kansas loses this game, I think if Kansas is competitive with Boston College, this could show that Kansas' new head coach is working great for them. If they get smoked, then I think we should have to get the coach some time. And then at Rutgers, that should be a win. Then Wake Forest is questionable for me, but I think Boston College will slip past them. And then at Louisville, even though Louisville has them at home and everything, I think they'll win that game. And then bye week. And then NC State, this is where the season starts to get a little bit rough. NC State had a good season last year. A little bit shocking to me. But, yeah, I think Boston College will win that game anyways. But I'm going to put a question mark there. I'm going to start doing question marks. So what I'm going to do is after I'm done predicting, I'll tell you the record that when I predicted, I'll show you the record that I put. And then I'll show you a record I think would be more reasonable than just predicting out their season. So I think Boston College has a better shot winning that game, and I'll put a question mark there, though. So I'll give it a 50-50. I put question marks. And then at Clemson, I think Clemson's Clemson. You know, they got Trevor Lawrence and everything. They're national championship winners. So I think Boston College will lose that game. Then at Syracuse, this is where it gets really hard. Syracuse has them at home. Boston College is beat up by Clemson. So I think Boston College will lose their third game of the season. Like I said, I think they're just going to get beat up and everything. So it's going to be really hard. Then Florida State, I'm putting in their question mark right there. I mean, I have to choose. That's just my way of predicting. I give Boston College a win because I don't think Florida State's as good as they used to be. Last year they went 5-7, had an awful season. And then we had the bye week, and then at Notre Dame, this is really going to hurt them in the later season. I think that's going to be a loss because Notre Dame was a super great team last year, and they still are. Then at Pittsburgh, yeah, I think Boston College is too beat up from Clemson, Syracuse, possibly Florida State. And then, I mean, the bye week helped them recover, but then you got Notre Dame again, which they get beat up even more from that. So I think Boston College is going to struggle with Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's going to surprise them and win that game. And so after that, I got Boston College going 7-5. I don't have a more reasonable record. I think that 7-5 would be a reasonable record for Boston College. And then we're going to best case and worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, I think 5-7. Let's say they lose Pittsburgh, Florida State, NC State. So they're already let's see, they are 6-6, I believe. And then let's say you slip one more game, like maybe for saying, let's say Kansas head coach is really working out. Let's say they lose that game, or if they win that game but lose a Wake Forest or something like that. So that would be the worst case scenario for me. I doubt it would happen. And best case scenario, I got 9-3. If they do beat Pittsburgh and beat Syracuse, I think that would be the two reasonable wins. I don't think they'll beat Notre Dame or Clemson. I was thinking 10-2. They might beat Virginia Tech, but I don't think they can go 10-2. If they beat Virginia Tech, I think they'll slip another game. So after that, this is my whole schedule listed on there and my prediction. And so that's Boston College's. And then we're going to go ahead and go to Syracuse's. So we're going to go ahead and recap Syracuse's season from last year. They went 9-4. My bad, 10-3. They lost to Clemson, Notre Dame, which were reasonable losses. And they were competitive with Clemson, so they're a pretty good team. And Pittsburgh was kind of a disappointment for Syracuse. They did beat West Virginia in a bowl game. So they had a pretty good season last year, surprised a lot of people. All right, and here's a look at their schedule for this year. And let's go ahead and dive right into the first game. All right, first up is at Liberty. That is going to be an easy win because Liberty's not as talented. And then we have at Maryland. Maryland pulled off an upset against Texas, and I think was hanging in with Ohio State for a point last year. So I think that would be a question mark. I have a lot of question marks for Syracuse. Just going to give you a heads up for that. So I think Syracuse will still win that game. Then week 3 against Clemson, even though they were competitive with them last year, and they got them at home, I still think Clemson will be able to win that game. Clemson will be better this year, I think, because Trevor Lawrence has more experience than he did last year. And so I think Syracuse will take their first loss of the season. And then week 4 against Western Michigan, that would be a win. Week 5, Holy Cross, that should be an easy win. And then you have the bye week. We'll take a little bit of rest. And then we have at NC State. I'm going to give that a question mark right there. NC State, like I said, had a good season last year. So I still think Syracuse will be able to beat them. I'm going to be going fast on Syracuse because I already explained a lot of the teams from Boston College already. And then Pittsburgh made the ACC championship, but I believe lost to Clemson. So Pittsburgh, yeah, you could say they had a pretty good year if they made the ACC, even though they had a 6-6 type 7-5 record. So I still think Syracuse will be able to win that game. And then at Florida State, I'm going to put a question mark right there. It's at Florida State. Florida State is, I think, will probably come back, even though they had a disappointing season last year. I know that I said that from Boston College, but I think that Florida State will probably sneak up on Syracuse and beat them. Then Boston College, I already said they would win that game. And then at Duke, that was really rough for me. Even though it's at Duke, I still think that Duke will probably sneak up on Syracuse too. And this might seem kind of weird saying, but I'm not trying to put Syracuse on a very high record because I don't think they'll be very high. So that's kind of the tough thing for predictions as well. You have to give them a reasonable record, and you have to decide what games will they probably slip. So I think Duke and Florida State would be the main ones I think would slip. And then at Louisville, I think that'll be a win. And then Wake Forest win. So I have them going 9-3 on my predictions, but I think a more reasonable one would be 8-4. If I had to for 8-4, if I had to pick them losing one more game, I would probably do either NC State or Boston College. Yeah, because in my last video I said Boston College could be able to beat Syracuse. And let's go worst case, best case scenario. I think worst case scenario 7-5. Yeah, worst case would be losing to Boston College, NC State, and Maryland. So that'd be my worst case. I don't think they would slip another game. And then best case scenario, I got 10-2 if they do beat Duke and Florida State. If they did beat them too, I still think they'd probably slip another one, like NC State or someone like that. And so that's what I got for Syracuse. And this is my whole schedule listed on the screen and what I predicted. That's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also comment down below which one do you think is better, the whole schedule on the screen or the logos. Yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next video. Peace.